the Syracuse Board of Assessment Review. My name is Joe Saya. I am the chairman, and opening up the roll call today.
Michael Vavanese.
Carl Masterpole.
Sue's job.
Okay, everybody's here that's on the board. We have a quorum, and I think we're ready to go for our, I would suggest, because they're not here, we would just move forward with who is here.
Yep, sounds good. All right, just hand me that for a second.
Just from the city's position, the sixth ward assessor will be here to handle North Krause. He is downstairs, and I'm surprised he's not here at this moment, but we could just hold that for as long as it takes for John to get up here.
Okay.
Okay, and that, these people are here for what?
That's
That's
theirs, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, so we'll sit tight here for a minute.
I'm sorry, they're here for what?
North Krause.
North Cross, yes. So let me over
Okay, 3 properties,
3 properties,
Parks
yep.
Realty. Why don't you come on up here and have a seat. John, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
We just have to wait for the assessor to come from downstairs,
Okay.
and then I'll swear you in, and then we'll get into it. Do you have any particular order as to what you want to,
No.
okay. We'll go in the order as they are on the sheet then. And you have the 3 files, okay.
And once we start, I'll announce the name and the addresses.
Okay,
Should I do that now, or do you want me to wait until the assessor is up here?
let's wait until Tom's up here.
Sounds great.
Okay, that sounds good, yep, that would be good. So now, he has 10 minutes per property.
Per property, so I wouldn't be, like, he's already said he probably won't take 30 minutes, but,
Right.
I would just give a 5-minute warning if, we get to the 25-minute mark.
That would be good. Doing some different things this year to try to have it, you know, run a little bit smoother and also respect people's time. So I think it'll work out good. They used to give us 5 minutes per property,
Probably all I'll make.
and that's fine.
So they're just listening. Oh, I did not do that. So it's that way. But he really didn't. Well, it's that way.
I really hope he's not open.
Oh, yeah.
We, can you call them? Tom?
Should I call Tom?
Yes, please.
Do you know what extension he has? Yeah,
I'm afraid I don't. But,
it's okay.
But
I
Renee-
have,
Renee will reel him in.
hello.
I can run downstairs and get to them.
Please do.
Yes,
To
if you,
sign in?
yes.
Okay.
Do you know what time you were on for?
9:10.
9:10, perfect. All right. So if you want to just sign in right there. And you're 410 Pearl Street?
Yes, correct.
Perfect.
Oh, I put in the wrong, I've signed it.
That's fine.
We got the law. It's because you put in your time. I was real fast.
Super efficient. Okay. And the last name is Marks, correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So, Starting off today, we have Mr. Stephen Marks with properties 206 Kraus Ave North, 211 through 13 Kraus Ave North, and 214 Kraus Ave North.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll go in that order. I'm gonna swear you in. If you can raise your right hand. State your name for the record.
Stephen R. Marks.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. Tom, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. All right. So the first property is 206 North Kraus Avenue. This is a small commercial office building. So let's see if we can get some numbers here. Tom, I've got, is the assessed value 28,000?
Yes, I believe it is.
All right, I just want to confirm that.
If you wanna, on the schedule that I gave you,
Yeah,
the assessed value is marked there along with full market
Okay.
value, as well as, claimed assessment value and claimed full market value.
okay, very good, very good. Okay, so 206, I've got 28,000, okay. So we got 28,000 is the assessed value. What's the land value on that, if I could?
$4,900.
4,900 land value. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $10,000, so you want to do this, this year, or?
He's already done it for you.
Yep. 66,450.
Yeah. See what I mean?
Where's that, just,
Right here.
okay. Gotcha, 6450. Thank you for that. Melissa, Michelle, I'm sorry,
No problem.
6450. Okay, very good. Why don't you tell us about the property? I just wanted to get the numbers straight as to what you're looking for, what the city has from a market value standpoint as well as an assessed value standpoint. So that's what we were doing there.
I purchased the building, I don't know, 30-plus years, no, probably 40 years ago. And it had been a barber shop owned by Pagano. I redid the whole building completely. I dug the basement out by hand. I put a pitched roof on it. It had a flat roof before. We parched the outside and we put a stone front on it, all new windows, all new wiring, all new plumbing, all new floors and walls and insulation and everything. I pretty much started with only a shell. I rented to Diamond Construction Company for close to 10 years, and they moved on, and then I rented to Aero Printing. Ron Evans owned that, and it was a one-man show. He rented it for about 30 years, and he finally moved out a couple of years ago, and he wrote me a letter afterwards and said he couldn't take it anymore because of the drug dealing across the street. He had to constantly watch his car. He was afraid for everything, especially his customers coming, because they attract such a bad crowd. So he moved out because of that, and because of the way the property looks across the street and the drug dealing, wasn't even worth it for me to advertise again, because, well, I parked my own truck there and they broke that windshield. So I can't rent the building. I love the building, but I can't rent it. So it's not worth as much as it should be because of that.
Okay, so a couple of things. You've got in here with the people across the, it's worth 10,000 with the people across the street. What does that mean?
It means it's just a storage facility as far as I'm concerned. I can't rent it.
Because
to
of the
someone.
people across the
Absolutely.
street? Okay, because of the neighbors in the
Yes,
neighborhood?
only across the street.
Have
one
you tr-
building.
Have you tried to sell the property?
No,
Okay, so it's, it hasn't been on the market
No.
since you purchased it,
no.
some 30 years or so? Okay. Anything else you want to add to that as far as condition?
The condition of the building, I've been painting and remodeling it. There's nothing else I can do with it. I'm not going to even try to rent it.
Okay, well, that's your prerogative, of course. These pictures here with all the garbage, what is
That's
that?
across the street.
That's across the street.
And the properties are 547, 549 Bernard Avenue, and 207, 209 North Krause Avenue. One is owned by Keisha Lampazano, and the other one is owned by her husband, Mike LaRocco.
How current are these pictures?
Well, when I brought the papers down.
Wow. Has codes been called?
They came, believe it or not, a couple months ago with all of their equipment, scooped everything up, put it on dump trucks and cleaned the entire lot, even brought the street sweeper in afterwards. And they brought it right back again. It's bad or worse, but it's always bad.
Okay. Tom, any thoughts?
We think the building is fairly assessed. He's made a business decision not to rent it,
Right.
and that's on him, not on the city of Syracuse. What his neighbors do might not make it more attractive to a potential buyer, but renters will rent if the renters rent. I don't know what was he renting it for prior to his tenant vacating.
Yeah, let's see, that may be in your complaint, but what was the gentleman paying?
Pardon me?
What was your renter paying?
Well, probably about $500 a month.
Probably about $500 a
Well,
month?
it changed, so it probably averaged out to be about that.
Okay.
These two properties across the street also owe a total of almost $60,000 in back taxes. It's common knowledge, just ask downstairs. And over a $10,000 water bill. But they just stay there. There's probably between 50 and 100 of these drug people that come over in a day and night. It never stops. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. My wife and I have never had a night's sleep since they've been there. When I called code enforcement, they told me I should move. I don't think so. I don't think that's the right answer.
No, not at all. The city aware of these properties?
Absolutely. I've sent letters to everyone. Myself, the mayor, both chiefs of police, the law office, the county executive, everyone I could think of. They probably know me by name. Maybe they're getting tired of me, but
No
I'm just trying to
response?
make the city better. It
No
wouldn't be bad without
response?
those,
No response to your letters?
well, they did clean it up. They cleaned up two properties with all of their equipment. I can't imagine how much that cost. But it filled right back in again, and as far as anything else goes, I have no idea.
Does the owner live at that property?
He does, and he
Really?
is the drug dealer.
Lovely.
I do, Matt, over the Commissioner of Assessment, I do think, yeah, all of that sounds spot on with what we understand. Codes are aware, SKD is aware. I believe this is going into the foreclosure process because of the extraordinary back taxes on the property. I think the property is in the BAA process right now. And there's no instant gratification in these matters. It sounds like it's a
Right,
slow burn over
it's a-
there and a really serious problem.
Yeah.
I certainly won't speak to the effect on value of the subject property. Leave that up to the sixth board assessor's discretion.
The status of delinquent taxes and past due water bills on a neighboring property don't have any effect on the value of his property. That's an entirely separate issue, so
Well,
let's
no.
not.
Well,
let's
the
not
condition
go
of the
to-
property and the
Yeah.
crime that's not being policed in the area and the codes that aren't being enforced on that property all have a direct effect on his value, and it's to the point where he
It
can't
may or
rent
may
it.
not. You have to prove it.
Well, the proof is in the pudding as far as the renter or lack thereof. And again, your point's well taken, but this sounds like, you know, this is a situation that,
Well, if the board wants to give him a reduction, we're not going to object to that, but, you know, to say it's only worth $10,000 is,
yep, and we're not making any decisions today.
that's way too low.
And whether I get any reduction or not is irrelevant. I pay my taxes every quarter. But this has to be, I have to do something. And maybe it's, if I say I want to pay less money, then people will wake up and do something about the situation, so.
I don't blame you for coming in. Anything else you want to add, Tom?
No.
Okay. Anything else you want to add on this property? No, we are not disputing the situation. Okay, let's go on then to 211. Is the argument the same for all of these?
Well, 211 is a two-family
Let
house.
me read it in first, though. And where do you live?
I live at 214,
Okay, so.
across the street.
Okay, all right, so 206 is just a commercial building.
Yes.
Okay. So let me just read this in. 211 North Kraus Avenue. Is it a single-family residence?
No, it's a two-family.
It's a two-family. All right, so let me just put that down. It's a two-family. You do not live here. The assessed value is $60,000. Okay. And the estimate of fair market value is $20,000, which is claimed assessment of
$12,900.
$12,900. Okay. Is this property currently rented?
No,
No, it's vacant. Both apartments.
yes,
When's the last time they were rented?
a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago. Condition?
The condition of the house is fine, but again, it's there's an alleyway between 211, actually it's 211, 213 North Kraus Avenue, and 207, 209. And after the people get their product, they go down the alleyway and do the drugs, I guess. We found needles and every different thing, but it's so horrible, but it's right next to the windows and the house right there, and nobody wants to put up with that.
Yeah.
How many bedrooms do you have?
Well, there's one bedroom upstairs and one bedroom downstairs,
One bedroom.
yes. Well, the house used to be on Burnett Avenue, next to Raylands.
What's the rent that you get?
Pardon me?
What is,
What were you getting in rents?
where are you getting rent?
I think about $600 for
That's what you would
the
ask.
upstairs and $500 for the downstairs.
That's what you'd ask now for rent if you're.
Well, if I could,
Are the utilities separate?
yes.
Okay, so that was plus utilities, off-street parking?
I have a parking lot, it's 221 North Kraus Avenue, I believe. Used to be Patrick's Dry Cleaners. She sold it to me, and It's for off-street parking for that house. Yes, and there's off-street parking for 206 also.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. So you're right in there, where Patrick's was.
On the same block as Patrick's, then there was a garage in between, and my house is the red house with white trim. It's the only house on that block,
Okay.
on that side of the street.
I'm down there, I'm gonna drive by there as well, and just take a look-see. Tom, the land value on this property?
Land value is, 4,900.
4,900. Okay, so you've chosen not to rent it at this point.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to add? Okay, Tom?
It's hard to find two-family properties, that are comparable to it, and those that I did find were substantially sold for higher. They were in better locations on the lower north side of the Burnett Ave area. I don't think that a $20,000 value, even on a vacant property, is high enough. But I know when we have it assessed that, I think it's high. I think they, a reduction. But one of the things I want to point out is that when we have to prove what we think a property is worth, petitioners come in and say, I think it's worth 20, but where's the proof? And that's the thing, is then you start making decisions based on emotion and, and the circumstances about the sale, So, I think a reduction is warranted, but not too much.
Yeah.
He was getting, $1,100 a month rent when the property was rented, and that's a reasonable rent. If you use a gross rent multiplier of 5, that comes out to a $55,000 value.
Yes. So to your point, I will say to you that we don't dispute your argument. However, all you've
I
submitted...
had to put
is
something
proof.
down that's,
No, I understand that, but all you submitted
Yes.
was proof is 3 pictures. And, it looks like probably in the 3 files. And then, we know you're under oath and what have you, but it would have been nice to bring in some comparable information of other properties and that type of thing. Because the burden of proof is on you.
okay. Between those 2 properties that are the problem and my 3 properties, that's North Crouse Avenue outside of Patrick's that's closed up and boarded up, and a big apartment building.
Right. From an appraisal standpoint, you can go out a half a mile.
Okay.
Okay, half a mile radius. If you can't find anything, then you go out a mile. So I understand what you're saying. I'm just for future potentially.
We recognize that there are challenges for the average
Sure.
property owner trying to obtain comparable information. We would assist them to some degree. But like I said, I think that a reduction is warranted, but not to 12.5. I think a $20,000 value for a vacant property is a little light.
Okay, we're not putting you on the spot, but do you have a recommendation? And if you don't, that's okay.
I would say that right now we're valuing that property at 43. I think a $35,000 value is reasonable. And if you put it on the market, you might be able to get that. I feel for the circumstances that he's up against. And maybe if he had contacted the department earlier, we may have been able to work with him. But it is what it is. We have to put a value on it.
And you said 35 and 43,
35
assessed value?
No, the $35,000 market value would come up to an assessment of rounding 22.5. It would knock it down $5,500 to give them some relief.
All right, I think I'm lost. You're recommending a $22,000 500 assessed value?
Right. Oh, yeah, which translates to about $30,000 market value.
Okay, isn't he assessed at 60,000?
No, we assessed that,
I got him assessed at 60,000.
so that we would get a bigger reduction. I got it, I was looking at the other property.
So based on a current assessed value of 60,000,
That would come out to a $92,000 value. That's way high. That house isn't worth that kind of money.
right?
All I'm saying is, I think the house is worth more like $30,000.
Which would be a $22,500.
$500.
So he was way over assessed, then, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
So just, again, to clarify, you're recommending an assessed value of $22,500,
Yeah.
which would be a market value of,
Roughly $30,000.
okay,
I mean, the property is up against it. I think it's right next to the garage.
There's a garage behind it.
Yeah.
okay. So the city's recommending, an assessed value of $22,500 down from 60,000. That's what they're recommending, doesn't mean that we're going
Right.
to do that. But I just want you to be aware of that. And Tom, just to backtrack for a second, on the first property, you feel that that assessment is fair.
I think so, yeah.
Anything else you want to add on this one?
No, sir.
Okay, so let me read the last one in. 214 North Kraus Ave. This is where you live?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's a single family.
Just to give an update, we are at 8 minutes out, so 8 minutes left.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Thank you for that. I have a full assessed value of $40,000 tentative. Tom, the land value on that?
I would imagine it's pretty similar to the other ones, it's around 4,900.
4,900.
Like that.
If you could confirm, I'm gonna put that in there. The property owner believes the fair market value is 15,000, which would be $9,675 assessed value.
What was the owner's opinion of value?
15,000. Assessed value equatable is 9675. Okay. Your residence,
Yes, sir.
what do you have to say about that?
Well, we've never gotten a night's sleep in years. We can't leave the property, we couldn't go on vacation. We're afraid to even leave for the day to go swimming. So we're kind of locked in, and
Based on what you're saying,
we've had windows broken, there's been all kinds of violations.
doesn't seem like the quality of life is there, obviously, and you haven't entertained moving? You haven't entertained selling the 3 properties and,
No, that's where I live. We've got a couple of vacant lots across the street where my wife has raised bed gardens, and we spend a lot of our time doing that. And because of that, we're going to stay there. We have to. We're too old to start all over again.
that's fine. I had to ask the question.
Yep.
But I appreciate where you're coming from, certainly.
The city does want to reiterate that we really appreciate that someone doesn't lock down.
Yes.
Any exemptions that are out there, our office would really like to work with the homeowner, making sure they're getting everything that they're.
11,
Are they?
or we have 11.
There's not any exemptions on the property that I'm aware of,
There are not.
One for these four.
unless they have a basic star,
Pardon me?
basic star exemption.
Do we have a dog?
No,
Do you have the star exemption?
No, they won't give me one because all the properties are in a real estate corporation. That's what they told me.
that's why.
Well, okay.
So they can.
Okay. And why is that? No, I know why that is, but why did you put them in a
I
corporation?
will also put your phone number down here, and if,
Well, I had other properties also. I don't have anymore. And
You just never changed the title on these?
no, one time I thought I was gonna do something, but
Okay.
I didn't do too much. But I done some. I've owned other I owned a house on Burnett Avenue that I sold, but again, it was a different problem, but it was next to the barrel company over here on Burnett Avenue. So the assessment couldn't be too high there either, but now he's gone, but I sold the property
Okay.
because I couldn't see it.
Okay.
So the rest of these properties I can see.
Yeah, and I get that, and I appreciate that. No, I appreciate your position. So, anything else you want to add on?
No, sir.
Okay, and Tom, anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay, so we discussed the three properties.
February.
The city has made, Tom, you're feeling that this is a fair assessment on the single family. So, we've gotten the city's thoughts. We're an independent board, right? So we take from you, we take from them, and then we make some decisions, after hearings are done. You will receive, 3 separate notices, the first part of April.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll take it from there. We good, Michelle?
Good on this end.
Okay, all right, good. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Hopefully those across the street will get resolved as far as the city's concerned.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. What is your first name, sir?
Jay,
Jay?
J-Y.
Jay, okay. So I have Jay with 410 Pearl Street.
Okay. How you doing? Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
In there, there's, this is one of yours, right, Matt?
It is, yes,
Yes.
thanks.
So there's,
Michelle, could we rotate each mic in this direction?
okay.
My mic gets your mic, Paul gets Mike's mic, and.
Oh, yeah. If you could just move it right over.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're good. And yours over there, all right. Okay, so this is 410 Pearl Street. I'm gonna swear you in.
Okay.
You've got 10 minutes per property, just one property?
Just one property.
Okay. So if you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
I'm Jay Calarco.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. So, let me just read it in. We've got 410 Pearl Street. Let's see here.
There's 5 copies of that paper, one for each of you.
Oh, okay, great. Couple here. Couple here. Okay, so this is a commercial building.
Yeah.
Current tentative assessment, 135,000, with a land value of 30,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 98,000, which brings us to an assessed value of $63,210. Let me just say, I really appreciate you doing this spreadsheet. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Usually we're, fumbling with the numbers to figure things out, and so,
Happy to make it more digestible.
yes, very much
Easier
so.
for math on the fly, I know.
Yes, so I appreciate that very much. Okay, so we've got our numbers set. I'll turn it over to you.
Appreciate it. This year, 410 Pearl Street's assessment was raised $19,000 on the assessed value. This is nearly 17% increase in assessed value. The previous assessment for 2022 was $116,000. This increase has made the assessment $135,000, just like you stated. I feel this is an excessive assessment based on several factors. 410 Pearl Street is an attached row building where the attached neighboring row building, 404 Pearl Street, is currently assessed at $98,000. 404 Pearl Street is a larger building and is in better condition than 410 Pearl Street. 404 Pearl Street is occupied and has an active, thriving business, where 410 Pearl Street has been vacant. 404 Pearl Street assessment was not increased, but 410 Pearl Street's assessment was. The property at 410 Pearl Street is currently in a state of disrepair. The roof needs a serious repair or replacement, as well as the HVAC system. I can provide evidence substantiating this necessary repair. There's also graffiti, vandalism, spray painted all over the front of the building. There is also extensive plumbing repairs that need to be made at the property. I can provide pictures to substantiate this. Although I believe that 98,000 is the correct, accurate assessed value of 410 Pearl Street, just like 404 Pearl Street, I'm requesting that the Honorable Board of Assessment would reduce the property's assessment back to what it was previously at 116,000. That's what I was requesting.
Okay. That was great. Did you supply pictures?
Yes, I can give them to you. I got some pictures right here.
That's good.
These are pictures of the plumbing damage, and these are pictures of the graffiti.
Okay, yeah, great, thank you. Now, it says here you purchased it in 2019 for $40,000.
40,000, yes.
Who did you purchase it from?
We got it from 410 Pearl Street, LLC. It was a different LLC.
Okay,
Yeah, it was $40,000. There was some back taxes that were calculated. That was what we took it over for, essentially.
40 plus paying the back
No,
taxes?
that was the taxes.
That was the taxes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it was heading towards foreclosure
Headed
then?
towards foreclosure. That is correct.
All right, so that was in 2019?
Yeah, and here's the roof repair.
Okay, good.
I'll show you what happens is these vandals went on the roof and they threw hypodermic needles in the roof drains and plugged the drains up, caused water to stay on there stagnant. Now it's caused a serious problem on there.
Yeah, sure. Where are you in relation to Columbus Bakery?
We're a little bit up the street from them,
Towards,
Nick and Cress, the machine shop. Up
Okay.
a little more towards Nettleton Commons.
yes. Okay, great. So now, the purchase was on August 2nd of 2019.
Correct.
What's transpired since then with respect to, I mean,
Well, there was
what's currently going on with the
currently
property?
going on. We are hoping to fix the place up and get it open. We're gonna actually try to get a business back in there. That's the plan.
Okay. And so what's happened for 3 years?
Last couple of years, COVID really put the screws to doing anything over there.
Why?
Just because of for like a year, there was restrictions on doing anything, like restaurants. There was the, what do you call it, pause, all that stuff. It kind of deterred anybody from wanting to do anything. And then we put an ad. We tried to lease it or try to sell it on Crexy, and we got nothing on that last month.
What were you asking?
We just 150. We got nothing on it.
So you were asking 150.
Got no hits on it at all.
So you thought maybe it was worth 150?
Well, originally, we thought that. Now I would say it's significantly less.
Okay.
You know, because one of the reasons I want to say is because, you know, the market was going crazy for a while. Things were going up.
Yeah. The COVID thing didn't really stop you from renovating, but
Yeah, money, it takes money to renovate. That's one of the things, and now the roof's a mess, and that's a real problem. But we're gonna get it fixed, that's what we gotta do.
okay, yep. And, was this an unfinished assessment?
This has not, to the best of my knowledge, been unfinished. It's
So they-
straightforward neighborhood change this year. Everything in the upper ninth ward was reassessed this year.
Okay.
Sales comps on the sheet we've provided to the board.
Okay,
Primarily vacant properties in the same neighborhood. East Willow, North Salina, North State, I believe.
and the owners of 410 sold you this. I'm sorry, the owners of 40,
410 Pearl Street LLC,
right.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
it's a separate LLC that we bought it off of. And
okay,
thing is, it was in better shape when we bought it.
you're right.
That's kind of the kick in the butt here, because the plumbing's messed up, and now the roof's a real problem, because that's like that $7,500, that's a fix. The roof probably needs a new roof. That's the scary part. Rubber roofs are really expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. And I get you as far as COVID, to a certain degree, because we were coming right into it when you purchased it. Right?
Yeah, it was like right when that happened.
Here, late 2019, early 2020.
Bad time to be ramping up building renovations, no doubt.
Yeah, so I can appreciate that. All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think when I put down that it was 98,000. I would be satisfied just going back to the previous assessment. I just want to say, I think that would be fair.
Now, okay, thank you for that. Just a question. Okay, yeah. And because nobody's here, I mean, we can go over a little bit, but I appreciate you telling us. Well, let me see what you have to say first.
You know, I think
sorry.
we don't have a ton of color. Looking at this range of sales comps, we could probably come down to an assessed value of 125, come down 10 from where we bumped it to, which is, was that 11 up from where we were last year? You know,
So-
we've seen appreciation over here. We've got some pretty good data points. I think this is an area where, on this block of Pearl Street, roof access is gained because these one-story roofs are at grade with the rear on North State, if I'm not mistaken. So that roof situation is not something that we were able to take into account when we put the value on. You know, an occupied building is certainly the best way to guard against graffiti and needles on the roof drain. That said, it's kind of a chicken and an egg problem right now, getting the building into condition where somebody has the lights on and is able to guard against that.
You guys are ready to get started?
Yeah, we're looking to get started soon. That's the plan. Providing, like, you know, this roof doesn't cave in on us, we're hoping we can get it fixed for what that guy quoted it for. That's kind of worrisome though, because he says it's kind of like a quick fix. It's not like a permanent solution.
Well, why don't you fix it right?
He didn't give me a quote for that.
Well,
That's the thing. With Centermark, they're a big company. We want to go with somebody reputable.
well, absolutely, but at the very least, wouldn't you want to get a proposal on a Band-Aid and,
Yeah, he was supposed to give
Doing
me, but
correct.
he didn't have it ready for the time of this.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, we know that a new roof is going to be more than $7,550,
that is correct.
so we understand that. Would an unfinished be entertainable, given the condition, but it's been the condition with no renovation since purchase?
The
So
department
I don't know
is
about that.
the department is not enthusiastic about unfinished, but if the board recommends it, we would certainly follow the board's recommendation and adopt that. If you think the photographs capturing the condition befit that kind of classification, what we would do would be put a 1-year unfinished on, come down to whatever value the board deems appropriate, and then certainly offer a 485B exemption to the property owner, to exempt 50% of the increase over base when the property is brought up to par.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, happy to work with anybody on whatever exemption they're eligible for.
So trying to come up with some ideas, but you guys gotta
I mean, I just.
get her
felt-
going.
I felt that the increase wasn't really justified because my neighbor, who's Nick and Cross, that's the building he has, his building's larger and it's in better condition, and his is at 98,000, and that's an attached row building, that's who I'm attached to. Like, that's the one thing you go by, like, comparable values.
Yeah.
One point of clarification on that. That's a 710, a manufacturing building, so different set of sales comps, different utility. But I recognize that on its face, that doesn't look entirely fair to a property owner who's seeing the tentative values come down.
Joe, and one of the problems with giving an unfinished assessment, what happens is, it's not that the department is against it, it's just that when we put it on there, the owner a lot of times doesn't recognize that we give them a year to fix it up.
Yep.
And if they don't fix it up within the year, we go back out and reassess it, then they're back in, well, my property isn't done, and we're trying to clean up a lot of the unfinished assessments, because we've got some properties that are unfinished, that property that should be torn down, and they just haven't been torn down, they just remain as an unfinished assessment, so we don't want to keep that status out there forever.
Oh, absolutely. It should be just for 1 year.
Right.
And then it goes back up irrespective of what was done or wasn't done.
Right.
And we always, from a unfinished standpoint, we definitely state that, look, it's gonna be for a year and your assessment's gonna get increased.
That's
And-
exactly
And we're
right.
not gonna be, as open door
I
the
understand.
next year when the person comes in and says this, that, and the other thing.
No, I
Don't want to
understand.
create false expectations for the property owner.
I get that. I understand that. What about splitting it? How about splitting it from the increase you proposed in the previous assessment of 116 from one, like in between?
We're up 19. That's a rounding error basically over 125 offer, but yeah, we could sit with 125 assessed value would be fine with.
You said 125. I was talking about splitting it from 125 to 116, somewhere in between there, like 119, 120. That's what I figured would be fair. I'm willing to be reasonable. I'm not trying to, I
Yeah,
know.
so let's do this, I think, because I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Let's just make a note that the assessor recommended 125, right? Is that correct? He recommended 125 assessed value, and you're looking at 119, 120.
Yeah, like,
So-
I would be satisfied with 119. I would be okay with that. I'd be like, all right, I know things went up. It's just, I've been kind of stuck with that place, not being able to do nothing with it.
All right, well, I don't know what your financial situation is, and I don't want to know,
I
right?
understand.
But now we know that COVID has passed us, and
Yeah.
so we really, it sounds like there might be some relief. But, now it's pretty much on you guys to get her done,
Yep.
so we like you, but don't come back next year, is basically the gist, I think. Well, you're welcome to come back, of course, but I think we're on the same page
Yeah.
as to what we're thinking here. Okay, nothing else you want to add? Are we allowed to keep these
Do you
pictures?
need the pictures, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give them back to me when you're done, though?
Yeah.
Or
we
no,
can-
you just need
You
them
can
for...
send them back, is that it? What do you want to do here?
Up to the board, whatever the board can arrange with Reven is fine by our office.
I was gonna say, can we make photocopies and then,
We can make color copies of it,
do we want to do that today, or?
that's up to you.
I would say, can we do it today and just give them back to them? Yeah, because we need this. If we're gonna
Understand.
entertain an unfinished or a lower assessment, I gotta have something to prove.
I understand.
So we can get,
Write the address that you want them mailed to and put it right in that sticky note. And
Okay,
then
you
just
s-
put them on that envelope, then I'll mail that.
410 Pearl Street. I would be happy with a, full, what do they call it, a finished assessment. It seemed like the city didn't really want to do a unfinished because it causes problems.
well, it's, where the city's coming from is that people have short memories. So we put an unfinished on something, and then they come back in the next year,
410 Pearl Street right here.
they come back in the next year and say, well, this went wrong and that went wrong, and, we just can't continue to keep it unfinished on something.
No, I understand.
So, yeah, so what we'll do is, expect these sometime next week.
Okay.
Back in the mail. We're just gonna make photocopies, and let me just clarify. I was joking about don't come back next year. It's just that, so we're on the same page.
Yeah,
that,
so it's not the same story next year. I understand.
Yeah, only because, another year has passed, but we still got a roof problem and, the same types of things. And again, COVID was a valid reason.
Yeah.
But, we're not allowed to, take finances into consideration,
Can't take that into
right?
consideration. Yeah, I know, it's crazy how much construction's gone up. Since the-
Understood.
It doubled. Since the-
Understood.
It's been crazy.
Yep, no question about it. It's just that,
That's kind of irrelevant towards the taxes.
exactly, so we can't, and now we don't have a COVID issue or anything else, we just gotta get it done. But no, appreciate you coming in.
No problem, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
We'll send out the city will send out a notice first week of, April.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Take care.
Is there other people here? What?
They were setting up time for later in the week.
Oh.
Yes. So we do have one non-hearing, scheduled for 10, but while nobody's here.
City is ready for, the 30,
Want to do that one?
2023.
3023 Erie Boulevard, yes.
They're not coming.
They're not coming, they had let us know ahead of time that they were not coming.
All right.
And again, it has the 5 pages for all of you in here.
Is that something you did?
The ones with the 5 pages, those are Matt's. They're Matt's, he came up with all of that.
You guys are awesome.
Over here? You want to- Yes.
Thank you.
Literally did not go anywhere. Not this one. Thank you.
Hopefully that works.
Yes. Oh, what is the address?
725 East Fayette Street and a,
1113 Fayette?
11.
Okay, perfect. So, if you want to sign in on the 1010 and the 1020, you don't have to actually sign, you can just, it's easier for me to read that.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this next one in. This is a petitioner that said that they're not coming in. So I'll read as much information as I can, and then I'll turn it over to you, Matt, okay? Okay, the next property, the address is 3023 Erie Boulevard East. This is a non-hearing, so to speak, whereby the petitioner said that they were not able to make it in person today. So we'll read this in. It's a single-tenant restaurant facility occupied by Chuck E. Cheese. It is currently assessed tentative at $1,385,900 with a land value of $242,000. The petitioner believes that the fair market value is $500,000, which would be an assessed value of $322,500. $322,500 assessed value. So let me just go through the file and see if there's anything that I can tell you that's pertinent. One-story restaurant building with 11,439 square feet, built in 2002. Again, on Erie Boulevard. Okay. And pretty straightforward. I've got a letter of authorization in here, and then I've got some information that Matt produced. I'm sorry, the assessor produced. And, okay. Turn it over to
This
you.
is, yeah, subject of tax certiorari litigation. We don't really have much beyond what we provided on the printout, and
Okay, and it
so-
is in litigation.
it isn't, yeah, subject of litigation. We request that this be dismissed today for non-appearance, and we don't have anything further.
Okay, so you're requesting that it be dismissed,
Yes,
even though they alerted you to the fact that they were not gonna be able to make it?
it
Or did
does.
they alert you to the fact that they weren't coming?
it does sound that way, yes.
Okay, so it wasn't something where, something came up and they're looking to reschedule or reappear?
The thing right at the bottom there, that stamp,
Yep,
that is theirs.
oh, that's
not
their
from
stamp.
us.
Okay,
Yeah,
I see, so this is what you've had.
yeah, that is what got.
So
into
when you
us.
received it on January 18th, this is what was on there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fair enough there. So by them submitting this petition, is that their way of preserving the right of litigation continuance?
That's likely, yes.
Okay, and you're requesting that it be dismissed?
We are.
Okay.
Plus, they didn't even provide the board with any information that would allow you to make a reasonable decision on value.
Yeah, well, that's furthering what Tom said. Yeah, it's the petition form and the authorization, but no, there is nothing else in the file for us to go on with respect to value. So, I mean, it really, we could go on that as far as potential dismissal is concerned. Okay, fair enough. Anything else you want to add?
Nothing further for the city. Thanks.
Okay, and so I think we're in good shape as far as that's concerned.
Great, perfect.
And we have 1113 East Fayette.
Yes, so we have J&J Fayette LLC and J&J Syracuse Inc. It's 1113 Fayette Street East and 725 through 27 Fayette Street East and Foreman Ave.
Okay. Why don't you come on right up here? There's a mic for you here. Is there any particular order that you want to?
I guess we could do start with 725 East Fayette Street.
Okay.
We have a submitted.
Hold that thought for 1 second here. Okay, did you want to say something? I'm
Yeah,
gonna swear you in and what have you, but,
Yeah, I figure, I know I submitted photos, and everything prior. I just want to make sure you can.
great. Okay, yeah, I'll go through the file. So let me swear you in. If you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Jet and Juan?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, so you requested that we talk about 725-27 East Fayette Street first. So we will go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and read that in. This is 483 converted residence. Current tentative assessed value, $216,000. The petitioner believes that the fair market value is $170,000, which would be an assessed value of $109,650. 109,650. Okay, and then, is this Tom?
This is mine, thanks.
Okay, land value on this, if I could?
Current land assessment is $83,000.
$83,000. Okay, and go ahead and tell us about this building here.
Yeah, so the building I purchased in 2012 for $145,000. It's pretty much it's getting old inside. Needs renovation. It's
So let me just, because it's not on the petition here. You purchased it when?
2012.
2012. For how much? 140?
45, yes.
145,000. Who'd you purchase it from?
It was purchased from a Salim Nazi.
Could you speak up just a little?
Yes,
bit?
it was purchased from a Salim Nazi.
Okay. And 2012. And this is how many units?
This is a 1 commercial and 2 residential.
That represents some little discrepancy with our records. So I don't know what the board would like us to do with an inventory discrepancy, but obviously that could bear on value.
What are your?
We've got 3 up and commercial downstairs. The three apartments on the second floor and commercial downstairs.
Okay. And
This
you're-
is 725 East Fayette Street.
Yeah, the corner of Foreman.
Yes, corner Foreman.
Yeah.
Yes. It's only a two apartment upstairs and 1 commercial downstairs.
Okay.
Was it ever 3? Was it?
That's just for 725. The first floor is commercial.
Right.
And there was never 3 apartments?
There's never
up
3
there?
now.
Okay.
Okay. That matters to us.
Yeah.
For sure. What do you have for square footage on the building?
Square footage. Let's see. It's about 2,000 square feet.
2,000 square feet. What do you have, Matt?
4492.
How much?
4492.
Okay.
It's 2,000 per floor, so 2.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's about
All right, so 44, so, all right, so sounds like we're talking about the same space. Okay, so what's downstairs?
It's a Chinese restaurant right now.
Okay. Is that something you run and own, or
No, I do
you
not.
rent it out?
Yes, rent it out.
Okay, what's the rental on that?
$1,700 a month.
1,700 a month?
Yes, 1,700. Yes.
Is it all separate utilities?
Yes, separate utility. Yes.
Okay, so they pay their
Yeah, they-
utilities.
yes,
So 1,700 plus utilities downstairs, and then what do we have upstairs?
Upstairs, no. One unit's 800, and the other unit's 850.
Okay.
And they pay utilities.
Okay. So 1,650 and 1,700, $3,350. Okay. And then you gave me some pictures up here. Okay. So you're getting some good rents. What, was this an increased assessment, Matt?
This was, yes, we increased by $46,000 this year.
Okay, all right, so that prompted, so it was an increase of assessment, tentative assessment, and that's what prompted you to come in?
Yes.
Okay. And, Matt, do you know how long it's been at the prior assessment?
Only 2 years, I believe. I think this was increased in '21.
To what it was, and now we got, okay. Okay, go ahead, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so
Got the rents.
I have the lease. I don't know if you guys have a copy of this. These are the 2 leases for the apartments for the 725 property.
Let me just take a look, because those, no, I do have that, yeah.
Yeah, they started in, well, this lease actually started in 2020, but they've been there since 2018. I don't have a copy of that anymore, but for the same amount, they just renewed their lease.
Okay. And what are the size of the apartments?
One is a 3-bed, and then the other one's a 2-bed. They're probably about 1,000 square feet, give or take.
Okay. Okay, got that, yeah.
And, yeah, I was just trying to, because there hasn't really been any improvements to my property since last year, or since 2 years ago. So I don't believe that the assessment would go up.
Okay, so that's your, so you were okay with the assessed value, increase a couple years ago, but now, what was it increased to a couple years ago?
I don't have that handy, sorry.
It was the assessed value is 170,000.
Do you mean prior to that? Yeah, we brought it up from 170 this year.
To 216.
Right. Prior to that, I'm not sure where we were before the 2021 increase.
Okay. And I just want to see. And that would be a market value of 334,000, 335,000. Okay, all right. Anything else you want to add on this particular property before I ask the city for thoughts?
Not for this property, no.
Okay. Sure.
I only wonder if since the 96 reval, when data collectors may or may not have been in the building, those are pretty large units, so I wonder if 3 apartments were combined to 2 larger units. Little unusual for us to have an inventory discrepancy. I'm sure the board's going to want us to go out and lay eyes on the place. You know, given that there's the presumption that our data are accurate, we probably wouldn't want to recommend a reduction until we verify with our own eyes that there are 2 upstairs. That's still pretty steady rent.
Yes, very good rents.
Relatively low compared to market for the neighborhood for the residential. So that certainly factored into our thinking. We were probably looking at market rents. Now that we have contract rents, it gives us something to think about. You know, it's about the most steadily appreciating neighborhood in the city. Sky-high land values, a lot of speculation. But obviously, if the inventory is not right, that's the bedrock of where our value is.
Sure. So we would like the city to do an inspection. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
And it's really more so, you know, to see, probably confirm square footage, but also confirm we've got the 2 units and to see if in fact, possibly prior to him, because you're saying back in 1996?
Yeah, so it certainly could have happened under the previous owner's stewardship of the building, and nobody would have known.
Okay.
And when I purchased it was just a 2.
Yeah.
It was 2 apartment upstairs.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so how do we want to make connection as far as that?
It looks like Tom right now, who has deep familiarity with the neighborhood, is passing over contact info. Tom will get over there at whatever time is convenient to the grievant. If we can get into both apartments and verify that it's 2, we'll change our records, crunch those value numbers again.
Okay, so want to try to have the city come in as soon as possible, if you would. Okay, you're good then with everything there. That's good. And we're not, just so you know, again, we're not disputing what you're saying with respect to it's a 2 unit.
Right.
But I think that since the last, so if the city hasn't been in there since 1996, it'd be good for a walkthrough.
Oh, it's great information for us to have. We want our role to be as accurate as possible, so appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, that sounds good. So next property, and I'll read it in, is 1113 East Fayette Street. Let me just read in a description of this. This is a 484, looks like one-use small building. Current tentative assessment, 190,000. Do you have a land value on that, Matt?
Land is 100,000 even.
100,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 120,000. Yeah, I was just looking at something on here. Yes. 77,400. Thank you, Tom. Would be the equatable assessed value. Okay, what can you tell us about this? What exactly is this
So
property?
this is it's a 2-apartment and a single commercial on the downstairs. Basically, this is kind of the same setup as the 725 property. 2 apartment
Okay.
upstairs. There are three units upstairs. The third one is used for storage. It's not income producing or anything. The first floor they rent. And then the restaurant on the first floor for 1113, they do for $1,600 a month for rent, and they pay utilities. The upstairs, the upstairs 2 apartments, $450 each. They pay utilities. It is a cinder block construction. There's really thin insulation on the wall, so and the heat is electric. So their utility bill is pretty high, and they're no.
That's why the rent's a little bit
Yeah,
lower.
that's why it's.
What are the size of the apartments?
The upstairs, it's about each apartment, and the storage is about 1,000 square feet. So you can see the split to half of the building on the from middle back is the storage, and the front 2 is the front.
If I could ask, let's delve into the storage for a minute. Was that ever rented
It was never rented, no.
by you guys? So can it be rented?
I do not believe the coding enforcement would allow it, because it's classified as a 2-apartment. So we've never attempted to rent it or anything.
What do you have for classification?
I'm genuinely not sure about what codes would say. We've got it as 3 apartments.
You've got it as 3 apartments.
So zoning, they've always told us it was a 2-apartment only, so.
Okay, we'll get into that in a second. Can I swear him in?
Yes.
Let me just swear him in, just because he's adding some information, so I think it'd be good for us to do that. So you've got your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Yes.
And you have told the truth already?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so we gotta, I'm thinking maybe you're gonna wanna take a peek at this also at the same time.
If the board would like it, I am curious to hear what the legal encumbrance might be on the part of zoning or codes.
Yeah.
Usually these legacy buildings are grandfathered in, and then that occupancy is permissible. So that 1 apartment is used as storage, shouldn't necessarily diminish the value, but if they're getting other information from decision makers in the administration, then obviously that could change the calculus.
Yes, because if they're not allowed to
Yeah, that-
rent it out from a code standpoint, then maybe, it sounds like you're including it in your value
We are, yes. Our inventory is
as,
3
as a
apartments, 1
rentable
restaurant.
unit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, right, so I think we need to clarify that.
When you say it's storage, is there a bathroom in there? Is
Yeah,
there-
there's bathroom, but it's not, we don't rent it out or anything. There's the restaurant there for other.
Yeah, so if it's,
Basic
if
stuff.
it's rentable space, you're under the impression that you're not able to rent it
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
But we need to find out if you are able to rent it out, because that would be great, right?
Right.
Tom's got a deep background with this property, too.
I used to get my hair cut there when it was Smitty's Barber Shop.
Okay, and, so, but you never went upstairs, or,
No, but he always had a lot of people up there.
Yeah.
That was years ago.
yeah, no, I think it'd be good to, so I don't know if, I mean, it's up to, we're not requiring you to set some eyes on it, but definitely we need to know if it's, able to be rented. But if you want to go in there, we can.
Proposition, yeah. Tom can get into the building for an inspection of the 2nd floor. I'll get in touch with zoning and codes and just see if I can't uncover what the prohibition might be.
I'm sorry, even though it's being used as storage, there's nothing that, if they say it can't be used for residential occupancy, he could charge people to store things there.
Yeah, chances are it's probably the owner's stuff, but, yeah. Yeah, from a rental standpoint, I get it, yep, absolutely. When was this property purchased?
It's 2019 for 55,000.
55,000,
We have that as not an arm's length sale.
okay. Okay. Anything else you want to add as far as this property is concerned?
Yeah, and it's basically the same. It's the inside's pretty worn down, pretty worn. It's pretty old. Last time we did any improvements was 2010. That has seen improvements, and yeah, it's basically old. It's
But
not
you're
ideal.
collecting some nice rent.
Yeah, $450 a month. It's not a lot, but
Well, yeah, I think that's more a product of the heating
right.
situation. But I understand what you're saying. Matt, anything you want to add? Sounds like we do want to get in there.
Yeah, a couple outstanding questions here. Obviously, that rent's pretty well below market. Again, high appreciation in the 15th Ward. A lot of land value there. What exactly is going on within the 4 walls should dictate the ultimate value, though.
Did he mention the rent on the restaurant?
1,600, I think?
Yeah, 1,600.
1,600, yeah. Okay, all right, fair enough. Then, looks like when Tom contacts you, he'd like to try to get into that one too. So both properties. Okay, if you don't have anything else to add, thank you very much for coming in. Tom will get back to us with some feedback. We'll make some decisions, and then you'll get a notice first week of April.
Okay, sounds
2
good.
separate notices.
Appreciate it. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much for coming in.
Trevor's gonna go sleep. We had 2 people check in. I don't know where they went.
Has 117 Fabius been here yet? That was the first scheduled hearing
Nope.
of the day.
Nope, they have not.
Okay,
Leave it up to the board, but with one left in the 9th Ward for me, if 117 Fabius isn't here, we would move to dismiss that one for
okay.
non-appearance.
Why don't we read that in then?
That one,
If for some reason they show up, while we're still in session, we can take them, but let's go ahead and read it in. Okay, let me just find it here, yeah, okay. Okay, so, we have 117-29, Fabius and Granger Street. This looks like a commercial dwelling. Let me just hand out some information from Matt. Okay, this is a commercial building, classification 710-manufacture. Current tentative assessment of $303,100 with a land value of $82,600. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $137,320, which would be an assessed value of $88,571.
And a correction on that stated assessed value. I think the grievant might have transposed full market and assessed, because the assessment is 195.5, which would give you
I
a full
see
market
that.
of 3. Yeah.
Gotcha. 195.5, yeah, I was going off of the petitioner's number. So current tentative assessed value, 195.5. And the claimed assessed value, 88,571. Okay. This petitioner was scheduled to come in at 9 o'clock this morning, 9 to 9:10, and did not make it in, and so let me just thumb through. There is an appraisal in here. The dated evaluation was this a land bank property, maybe?
This was a land bank property, had significant tax arrearage. I believe the arrangement was that the owner wanted to retire. The owner's partner perhaps didn't want to pick up the business, and the current owner is a subcontractor who was able to take things over by paying significantly below market to the land bank, and the arrearage was forgiven.
Okay, yeah, and the appraisal came in at on October 8th of 2020 with a value of $48,000. Okay. All right, I'll turn it over to you.
We requested dismissal for non-appearance. Don't have anything further right now.
Okay. City has requested a dismissal for non-appearance. And we'll take that into consideration. That'll take care of it. Okay.
Sang? Okay. So we have Sang with 825 Butternut Street.
Okay. Good morning, how are you? Good. All right. Okay, you're here for 825 Butternut Street. Okay, can you raise your right hand? State your name for the record.
Sanguine.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay. All right, so let me just read it in. We've got 825 Butternut Street. This is a commercial building. Looks like it's currently assessed at tentative at, yep, at 200,000, with a land value of 100,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is 175,000, which would equate to a assessed value of 112,875. 12,875. Okay, let me just come through here. It looks like the property was purchased in October of 2021 for 175,000. A cash deal, and it's a standalone building, and I think that takes care of it. Okay.
Yes. One thing why I need to bring up to, I couldn't rent it. I could not rent the building.
Which, this is on Butternut in between what and what?
Street.
Or KFC.
Yeah, the old KFC.
Oh, okay, yeah, I thought you looked familiar. You came in a couple years ago, maybe?
Yeah, pretty much. You see.
Yeah, okay, so.
Last year, yes.
Last year? Okay. So this is the KFC building, still boarded up?
Still boarded up. I couldn't find anyone due to the neighborhood and the neighboring business. The thing is that it's a redemption, bottle redemption
Right,
place.
right.
And then whatever he doesn't take, and the trash, the boxes, and everything just lie on my property.
Yeah.
And I brought it up to the city many times. Nothing has been done.
Yeah.
And he is expanding. He wants to make it bigger.
Well, what,
Next parcel.
how about you, the next parcel over here,
Next parcel.
meaning
yeah.
yours?
Right. And then
Any interest in him purchasing your property?
he has no interest of renting it or purchasing it at all. And then if he succeed expanding his business, then I will never be able to get, because the homelessness, they live there. They live there, and I try very hard to keep not having trash, and then homeless people staying there.
Is there I understand the challenges of the area.
Yes.
However, that is a great corner for a KFC or a Burger King or whatever. And I know Burger King's down the street. I'm just throwing that out there. What have you done,
I've been
if
advertised.
anything, to try to attract that type of,
Oh, I try my best. I have real estate agent.
okay?
Try to advertise it and try to get the franchisees there. I don't think they want to go in there.
Okay.
It's a neighborhood. That's the whole thing is a neighborhood.
From a real estate agent, are you using a commercial
Yes.
realtor?
Yes.
Who?
He works for a Hunt Real Estate.
Yeah, but they're not really, I mean, they have a commercial division, but,
And I talked to many real estate that interest in it, but then when they say they drive through, they don't want to call back.
Okay,
After
all
I
right.
give an address.
I know it's tough location, but,
And even though with the local, they don't have the money to come up. And besides that, they're interested in more like convenience stores, but they're so saturated in the area. No way that.
what was your purpose for buying the
My
property?
purpose was try to lease it out. If not, I was trying to get it to open up my hair salon there.
Okay.
But I have to go through the change of variants and all that, the city codes and converting from fast food into a retail is a challenge.
I wonder, Because man, I think the city would love something like that.
I've been trying to ask everybody to help to.
Well, who have you talked to at the city?
At the permit and the zone, no one bothered to return my call.
Nobody bothers to return your call. How about going down there?
I did make appointment, and I need to sit down and talk to a city development department. No one bothered.
Man. Anybody we can put her in touch with down there?
Sorry.
Sorry for the delay. At the risk of putting a colleague on the spot, Eric Ennis in business development, obviously is a whiz at putting people in touch with, financing sources, helping hands. Might be worth reaching out to NBD. I don't have a number handy.
What's
But the neighborhood business development.
NBD.
NBD.
Neighborhood Business Development, that's a city department?
It is.
Have you?
And I did. I contact. I believe forgot his name. I was talked to. He said, "Yeah, you call me back and make an appointment, sit down and talk." No, nothing.
Yeah, that's, maybe you gotta be more persistent, I don't know, but,
I talked to Nita. Nita is the one that helped the bottle return expanding his business by next door, by the next parcel.
yeah.
But I'll be the one who opposed it because of what has been done to my property.
Right. Well, where's your salon currently?
Oh, on Grant Boulevard.
Okay. You're across from the Change of Pace?
Right.
Yeah, over there. Wow, the salon would be great over there, my God.
Here's the information for,
That's
NBD.
that's the main line for NBD.
Okay.
I don't have Eric's
but
personal
if you
extension.
ask for Eric,
Yeah.
Eric,
he'll be able to
okay.
put you.
Okay. Yeah, please call him. Eric, is it on there? Yeah. Yeah, call him till you get him.
Yeah, because I'm sure if I would say that without the city's help, the area is not going to change.
Yeah, no, are you current on your taxes?
Yes.
Well, somebody should call you back.
On what? For this particular.
Somebody should return your phone call.
I should. Yeah, definitely. And I tried.
Now, there's two sides to every story, but that's what I say. So we know the condition and all that good stuff. Anything you wanna,
Yeah, let me just give you a brief history.
Yeah,
I'm sure
please.
Carl and Joe used to know it, but the former owner lived out in Oregon, and he bought it from Mr. Marcosia back in 2022 for $827,000. And it immediately went vacant. And for 2 years, it was vacant. I thought it was strange, and I reported to the IRS because you don't spend $800,000 for a building and not put it to use. Sometime later, the owner called me and said he was suing Mr. Marcosia because he was not informed that KFC was not renewing their lease. So, former owner went to an LLC and then sold it to the petitioner for $175,000. We didn't consider it an arm's length sale because he was just trying to minimize his loss. That's it. And then it was reduced last year or the year before by $190,000, and
I think it was $390.
2-minute warning.
it was knocked down by $190,000 to its current level, and it's up to the board. There are some challenges in that neighborhood, but there are some positive points up there, and it's just a question of the right investor has to come in at the right time that wants that property.
Yeah.
And to convert it to a beauty salon, well, you gotta get a lot of that, restaurant equipment in there. You don't know what
No, it's
kind
not.
of-
It's nothing there. It's empty and it's everything falling out. Nothing there.
well, everything's cleared out.
The part of it too, I think what happened in the past, it was like a a fire department came in and tried to rescue the place that I guess was 911 call before I purchased it. But then they destroyed the whole thing, all the doors and the windows boarded up, every ceiling dropped, and it had to be completely renovation to rescue the building.
Is Jen Schultz the counselor in that area?
I think she is. I think the district line is a bit west of there. It's either Councilor Schultz or Hogan. And anybody off the top of his or her head.
Can somebody confirm that as to if it's Jen Schultz?
Can ask her at noon when she's in here.
Okay. Do we know how to contact her?
Contact information is probably on the grievance form.
Okay, 450-1118.
Yes.
That's your cell number?
Yes.
Okay. Can you put that on a sticky note for me, please? Name and number? Because Jen Schultz is a neighbor of mine,
Okay.
and she could get involved on some assistance with respect to, I'm not saying it can be done,
Okay.
but at least should be exhausted as far as your hair salon is concerned.
And my main concern is that I need the cities to, help me out and involve them so that we can make the neighborhood better, because it's,
Well, certainly by turning that into something that is a going concern would be a start, right? So, okay. Did you want to add anything else? Okay. And so you're just looking for some relief based on the fact that, it's still vacant and all that good stuff as far as area and what have you. All right. So we'll take everything into consideration. The city will send out a notice first week of April. Either Jen Schultz will be in touch with you, or maybe she'll get Mr. Hogan involved if that's his area. But Jen Schultz is outstanding, and if something can be done, she could assist.
thank you.
So
Thank you
I
very
put
much.
some pressure on her, so we'll see what happens. But no, thank you for coming in,
All right, thank you.
and let's hope something could be done.
Yeah, please. I really need help.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Is that Alfred?
Do we know what happened to the gentleman from 412 Pearl? He was here and
He was here and then he wasn't?
he isn't. Want me to hang around until you just wait till the end and see if he comes back?
Unless you want me to call you.
Whatever you think.
It won't be more than 20 minutes, right? I'll hang. Thanks, everybody.
So we've got Alfred with 244 through 252 Crowley and 907 Bellevue Ave.
Okay,
Yeah,
have a seat.
thank you.
Mr. Fole? Okay. You go, yeah, that's fine. Is there, I'm gonna swear you in, but is there any particular order you want to do these two?
I believe 244, 252. Would be
First?
good, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. If you could raise your right hand, state your name for the record.
Africa Riddle,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay. So as per your request, we will start off with 244-252.
Yeah,
Let me just read it into the record.
yep.
Okay, 244-252 Crowley Street. This is a multifamily commercial unit, current tentative assessment of $288,000 with a land value of $27,200. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $300,000, which would be an assessed value of $193,500. And let's see if I can give a little more information here. So it looks like you purchased the property December 14th of 2001?
No,
No?
Seven.
It's 2007,
2007.
I'm sorry. For $430,000. And what do we have here? We've got some information. Wow, you guys, this is great that you were able to do this stuff.
We're here to serve.
It definitely helps, for sure. Really appreciate it. Okay, so we've got that, and that's about, I don't have any other information other than the petition, so let me turn it over to you.
yeah, I purchased the property in 2007. I believe the assessment is related to the market value. Am I right on that?
Yes.
A year before I purchased the property, the assessment was about 174. I guess once the city saw that I pay 430 for it, they just jump the assessment. I just don't see consistency, because in other properties, I purchased it for a lot less and less than the market, assumed market value, and still they increase the assessment. So there's no consistent, in my view, in the assessment based on the market value, because when you pay more, they immediately assess at a higher value. But when you pay less, they still, I mean, it's the market value still. Even if you pay less than what it's supposed to be, but still, they increased it. And that's what I wanted to show you in the next case, how the two are related in that sense.
Okay, fair enough. Well, as far as your first point is concerned, you're establishing market value on what you're paying.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it might be justifiable here, and not necessarily on the other one, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about Crowley Street as far as number of units and.
It's 16 units.
16 units?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do we have for rents? Do you have anything you're gonna give us, tax returns, Schedule C, or information on this as far
You
as?
base the assessment on the income that the
Absolutely,
property produced?
absolutely.
Yeah, and in a single-family house, is that?
We
there's no-
base it on its highest and best use.
Okay,
Right, so a single family is gonna be probably, if it's being rented out, we're gonna do an analysis on the rent that's being collected. On a 16 unit, yes, we're going to absolutely base it on the income
and if
approach.
it's not rented out? If
if
it's just the person's residence, how did you base it in? There's no income? It's
Right,
just-
so then we would do a market value approach. So we would see what other properties have sold for in the area and then compare it to the subject property.
I'm basing my argument on, when I purchased the property in 2007, it was at the highest point of the market. After that, I guess we all know that in 2008, the market crashed.
Yep.
So that's one point. The year before, it's not like 20%, it was almost, it doubled. It doubled. Because the year before, I think it was about 170. Now it's 280, I believe it is. So it's a big of a jump. And I guess the only thing you based it on is just on what I paid for it, which is
Well, yeah,
something
but
that,
what's happened in between 2007, when you paid for it, and now?
no, the year after I bought it, immediately they doubled the assessment.
Okay, so that's, what we want to talk about is today. What's it worth today? What are the rents are you getting today?
Well, I'm getting 700 approximately, but there are a lot of vacancies too.
How many are occupied, how many are vacant?
4, occupied.
4 are vacant?
Yep.
Okay, so, we've got, 12 that are occupied. Okay, and you're averaging what in rent on those?
700.
12? 700?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we got here? 12,
That's about 8,400 a month.
8,400 a month, so it's about 100,000 for the year?
90.
Okay.
I'm bad at math. I went to law school, not math school.
All right. Okay, so, I mean, I understand what you're saying back in 2007, but, you know, we have to, what is it?
$100,800 is 84,
Okay.
times 12.
Right. And then the 4 that are vacant, how long have they been vacant?
3 months approximately.
And what's the status? Are you renovating, or what's, or they're ready to go, you just haven't.
Well, I just don't take anybody in.
Yeah.
I mean, based on experience, they come in, they do all kinds of damage, they go, and so I'm
100%.
more selective, and
100%.
there are people that want to do rent it, I just don't rent it to them.
Sure. Yep. No, that's good. Nothing wrong with that, because then your good tenants are gonna move out, and
Yeah.
now we got a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I get that. What's included in the rent? Is the heating
water,
system?
The heating, the hot water, the heating.
Is it separate
The garbage
electric?
collection,
Okay,
you know.
so it's separate electric,
Yeah, yeah.
gas is included.
No, the gas is not included, but the heat
sorry.
is included.
heat's included,
Yeah, the
yes.
light inside
They
the
have their own
apartment
cooking
is.
gas?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay. Is there off-street parking
Yes, there's,
for each apartment?
no, not all of them, but most of them,
Okay. How about garages?
no.
Okay, so it got off-street parking lot, okay. So what's your main argument with respect to the assessed value?
That they base well, they
Got it,
saw
don't-
the
don't-
increase in payment.
What's that?
I believe the city saw the assessment office saw the increasing purchasing price, and based on that, they just went over what I think. I mean, I'm thinking that the market value at about 300,000. That's what I put in the information.
Okay.
I mean, what did they base it on? 400? I don't know what they based it on.
What's the market value on 288,000 assessed value, please?
446, 511.
446, 511. Okay. So the city thinks your property's worth about 450,000
Now or at that time?
now.
Okay,
That's what they-
based on what?
Based on what they believe the rents are and what the property can produce, with a certain percentage of occupancy, vacancy rate. So that's where, and I'll let Mr. Full expand a little bit. Is there anything that you want to add with respect to particulars on the property?
I don't know if that, in that particular street, properties are valued for that much. Based on experience, I mean, I'm there.
Yeah. No, you've owned it for a while, so you certainly know the neighborhood and the market, and that's okay. So let me hold you there for a minute. Ed?
Okay, I first have the property is owned by A&Q Investment and Management LLC out of Brooklyn, out of the Bronx, New York. We send out a letter to every single commercial property owner asking for income and expense statements. The petitioner has failed to give us that information. He is absolutely 100% being honest when he says the market in 2007 crashed. and it crashed hard, and it stayed down till about 2011. Since then, we've seen steady increase in the city of Syracuse. And therefore, we looked at apartment buildings this past year. His property is currently assessed at 27,000, call it 2,800, it's 28,906 per unit. We have comparable sales, and we use all approaches to value where some of us are real estate appraisers. We use income and expense to value a property, as I'm sure the petitioner is well aware of, and we also use the sales comparison approach. We have sales here, they're in your packages. This property is still under assessed in our opinion. Now, this is an area that is a challenge. I find no fault with him screening his tenants and not having the place 100% full all the time. It's typical of any apartment complex. But, we have units selling anywhere from 114 a unit in similar types of neighborhood down to 3906, which is still higher than what we raised the assessment on this property this year. We feel the assessment is fair on the property.
What was the assessed value prior to this tentative assessment?
I just have current, I'm not the assessor for the area.
I understand it's been flat for some time. It was not changed this year, at least.
Say again?
It was not changed.
Yeah, he has not changed it.
Oh, it was
It was not changed, he's just coming in because he's got another property. Figured he'd come in and, I assume, present both of them at the same time.
Okay. You're an owner of the property?
Yes.
Right. Is there other owners in New York, or?
No, it's only me.
Okay.
Why is your mail still going to the Bronx if you're living here in Syracuse?
Yeah, I am a property manager, and I manage property in other states.
Okay, all right.
Okay. But do you own this property?
Yes, I do.
Okay. That's neither here nor there, I'm just curious.
No, that's okay.
Okay. So Ed's got some information.
No, that's just, there's that stamp that you usually have on those 8 screens. It's over there, and you can
So-
stamp them when you're making your decisions.
Okay, yep. The last question I have, and then I'll come
Yeah.
back to you, is, did you receive the letter about submitting income information?
No, I did not.
Well, it went to the Bronx location, so I don't know who's in the Bronx, but that's where it went.
Okay, so you have a local mailing address. Go ahead.
When was that mail that he mentioned sent?
Probably
Beginning of the
day or-
month, beginning of,
What was the date,
When,
the date on the paperwork there?
Yeah, January 23rd, so probably January 24th.
after I submitted this?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's there, and I have not received it yet, yeah, because I have been here.
Okay, and that would have went to the Bronx then?
Pro-
Yeah, which is where that is, okay. Are you able to submit some income and expense information?
I could.
Okay, because that would be very helpful.
Based on his estimate of sales in the neighborhood, not in that particular street.
well.
I mean, there are a lot of issue in that particular street that even some tenants doesn't want to move in.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
Didn't say there are apartment buildings in similar types of neighborhoods. I didn't say his neighborhood. There aren't a lot of apartment complexes in his neighborhood to begin with, but, when you're doing a commercial appraisal, a commercial appraiser has flexibility and can go, in our case, we don't leave the city. We use comparable sales from within the city's borders. We don't go to Camillus, we don't go to, Onondaga Hill or anywhere else. We're trying to find the most similar type of property. Did we find exact matches? No.
No, I understand what you're saying, I get it. The only thing that would be very helpful on your list would be what the assessed values are.
Well, the sales prices are what we're basing our values on, not what they're assessed at.
Okay.
Sales,
Because what they do is that, they'll do a half a mile radius, but then they'll plus and minus with respect to area.
Next property because it's 1057 and other people are just chambers.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, so anyway, points taken, and we will take everything into consideration, and then the city will send a notice first week of April.
Good.
I don't want you to feel rushed, but we've got enough
No,
information.
no, I understand.
Okay, let me read in the other one, and thank you for that, because, yeah, this is a little bit earlier of a day. 907 Bellevue Ave.
Correct.
This is a single-family dwelling, currently assessed tentative for $90,000. What do you have for land value?
tentative is 100,000, not
It
90.
increased.
Okay,
It did get increased this year.
okay, 100,000. And the land value on that, Ed?
Land value we've got is 17.4.
17,400. And petitioner believes the fair market value is 100,000. So would that be 75,000? Let's see, 64.5. 64.5. Okay. Okay. This is a single family. Is this where you live?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. And, okay, what can you tell us about the property?
Okay, I bought it in January, November
November.
2019?
November 1st, 2019.
For 45.
45,000, okay.
Okay.
Yep, got it.
And
This
they,
address is familiar. Was this owned by a guy from California prior to?
No.
Okay.
Or I don't know where he's from, but it's not something that you've heard in recent years.
Okay.
so 45, you compare what happened with the previous property, here is the opposite, and they still increased it.
Okay. So, arm's length, what happened here?
At that time, we said, no, it was not an arm's length transition. I can't tell you why, but it was,
You paid 45,000 for it. How did you purchase it? Who'd you purchase it from?
A realtor?
Okay, you purchased it from a realtor that owned it.
No,
It
no.
was on the open
it
market.
was
an
owned in an
agent.
LLC.
It was a what?
Owned in an LLC.
Okay. Was it a rental prior to, or?
No,
No. It was just owned in an LLC. What kind of condition was it in?
it needed to be painted, it needed to be clean, things like that, but other than that,
It wasn't
okay.
falling apart or anything?
no, no.
No, okay. What else can you tell us about the property? You're living there?
Yeah.
Any issues with respect to the property?
No, I just painted it, paint the whole house on the outside, and inside and the outside. Changed some, some windows. That's about it.
Okay, nothing, remodeled kitchens or baths? or-
No, no. I did a floor, fixed, put a new floor in the kitchen. That was it.
Okay, and this is 2019, okay.
Is it west of Onondaga Street?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
It's the little offshoot off of Bellevue that's built into the hill. It's, you know,
It used to be called Bellevue Terrace.
yes, Bellevue Terrace.
Okay, all right. What can you tell us about that, Ed?
Well, he's an investor. He's a smart investor. He bought it for a good price. I mean, the sales around it I did not bring this up to what I've got sales around it that go anywhere from as high as 220,000, just a couple of blocks away, slightly bigger house. My lowest sale in the neighborhood is 156. The sales are telling us a story that, in fact, one of the sales was something that was renovated and it was flipped. It sold for 190. It was a smaller house. It originally sold around a little bit before this gentleman bought his home for 156.7, and he flipped it in 2022 for 215. It's the market for residential properties in the city of Syracuse has been on fire for the last 3 or 4 years. It's unexplainable. I mean, it's a good thing. I think Syracuse has been undervalued for, my own personal thoughts, has been undervalued for numerous years, and people from other parts of the state, downstate, and other states are coming in, realizing what a great jewel we have here in the city of Syracuse.
So in answer to your original question, the city tries to put the correct market value on property, right? So I understand what you're saying about you buy something for something and then it immediately gets increased. But on the other side of the coin, again, there's different values of approach based on how you're using the property. And I understand that you paid $45,000, but I would just say that it looks like you made a great deal.
I must have been dumb when I purchased the previous one.
Well, no, I think it was probably bad timing though,
Yeah.
right? If you bought it on the other side of 2008, probably would have been in better shape. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No,
Okay,
that's it.
so the city will send out a couple, we'll take everything into consideration, make some decisions. I appreciate you coming in, and we'll send you, the city will send you notices, 2 separate notices, first part of April.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. All right, thank you for that. I think we only had one property to address.
Yes. So, 412 Pearl Street, he was here, he signed in. We were going to get to him at the time slot that he was scheduled for, but he walked out probably about 15 minutes before that, and we have not been able to locate him.
Okay, so he came in a little early. We would have been available at his time slot.
His time slot is when he would have started.
Okay. So let me read the property in, then we'll take it from there. We've got 412 Pearl Street. And let me just get to 412 Pearl Street. This is a commercial, multi-use, retail, service, ground with apartments and I see. Retail, service in the ground floor with apartments in the upper levels. Current tentative assessment of 190,000. Let's see where we are here. He says 190,000, but I got 240,000. So that might have been the old assessment. With a land value of 20,400. The property owner believes the assessed value for 2020, I'm sorry, the market value for 2023 is 275,000.
There's a little discrepancy there because on page 2, he's requesting an assessed value of 190. Sort of thing that we'd love to hear from him rather than see it on the paper.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm not gonna touch that then. I changed the current tentative to 240 because that's what it is.
Correct.
275 is the proposed market value, 177,375 would be the equatable assessed value. Again, this petitioner, this petitioner was here and is not here currently. Anything you want to add?
You know, I guess we won't request that it be dismissed. He was here. We'd love to hear more from him, but he's vanished.
So is that something where you guys contact him and see if he's going to come back in, or no?
I wouldn't be inclined to, but certainly up to the board and the clerk.
No, whatever the procedure is.
Trevor,
We
there's a
just
new one
let
for
it,
you on your
uh,
first day. It's unusual. This has happened in the past. Usually it's somebody who's disgruntled. This gentleman was here, small business owner, neighbor. Looks like he's, could have provided some good information, and we're all ears. We've got.
Well, I'll just make a suggestion.
Sure.
And it's by no means you have to follow it, but based on what you just said, maybe you give him a call and say, hey, I'm not really sure what transpired. We were ready for you, but, do you want to come back in, or do you want us to take what's in the file and make a decision? Me personally, I think that would be good. This way, rather than him get a no change or something, at least we gave him the opportunity. That's just my thought.
We certainly want him to feel heard. At the same time, we've got capacity constraints and wouldn't like to summon him up here at a time when our office might be underprepared to defend the city's assessment. But we've got partial contract rents. We've got the rents for the apartments here. I believe the ground floor is occupied by both a barber shop run by somebody other than the owner, and then the owner's own photography studio. So we believe that we had enough information to make an accurate assessment, but as always, 360-degree view requires the presence of the property owner.
Okay. So is that acceptable?
I can call him. Is there like a specific day? Because obviously I don't want to be like, oh, what day works best for you, because, I mean.
All right, well, what do we got? Do we have another day of commercial people?
The 21st. Maybe not. Hey, that's a really busy day.
If he could somehow be, choosing the verb carefully, shoehorned into a day when I'm already defending the city's position, that would be good. On a day when I'm not anticipated to be here, it might be tough to get me here.
Yeah, no, that's why I say. Do we know those days or no?
Tomorrow, I believe, is almost a full 17th Ward day when I am defending the city's position with a Tipperary Hill property owner. If he could come in at the very end of the slate tomorrow.
There are,
It's a full day tomorrow.
Well, there's 3.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think that's sufficient.
Okay.
Give them the 3 openings tomorrow, and if he's not able to make it in tomorrow, then we did our, what we needed to do. And you want me to give you back this file then?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, actually, I'll put it on the bottom of all these,
Okay,
because I'm gonna give you the rest back. And then we'll see what, so basically on this one here, if you do get a hold of him, he's got 3 options for tomorrow. If not, then we'll take the file back, read it in, and take it from there. Okay. Anything else the assessor wants to add?
No, thanks. I think the bulk of our argument exists in the sheet that we gave everybody.
Okay, that sounds good. Then I think with today, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second? Motion to adjourn?
Okay, anybody second?
Motion, second.
I'm not sure how to do this, but,
We've got a motion by Carl and a second by Chuck. So yeah, we've got the motion.
okay. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
That was